sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
It's hard to grasp sometimes how one event can just, ripple outwards and impact so many people in unexpected ways.
Absolutely.
And today we're going to be looking at the recent plane crash in Washington, D.C.
Right.
And how it's really just sent shockwaves through the entire figure skating world.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, and we're going to be focusing specifically on the Skating Club of Boston.
Okay.
And the individuals connected to the club who were actually on that flight.
Right.
And this is,
a sensitive topic.
Yeah, it's a very sensitive topic, very difficult topic.
Okay.
And we want to acknowledge the grief and loss
Of course.
that everyone's feeling.
Absolutely, yeah. And, it's important to approach this sensitively.
Yeah.
Especially given how close-knit the skating community is.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a small world.
Exactly. And we're talking about,
Huge names.
Yeah, huge names like coaches of Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Naumov.
Right.
Former world pairs champions.
Wow.
And then there's, the young skater Spencer Lane.
Oh, so young.
Who was on the flight with his mother, Christine.
Oh, wow.
And then there's skater Jinna Han and her mother, Jen.
It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot to process.
And then we can't forget the Livingston sisters from other clubs.
Right.
Everly and Lydia, who also tragically lost their lives.
Yeah, and it's just a lot.
Yeah. It really highlights how a seemingly isolated event can have such a wide-reaching impact.
Right.
These were individuals with dreams, aspirations.
Absolutely.
Who love them dearly.
Of course. So let's break down what we know about American Airlines Flight 5342.
Okay.
It collided with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter while, many of the passengers were returning from the 2025 U.S. Figure Skating Championships.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on the fact that so many of these passengers were connected through figure skating?
It adds another layer of complexity to the tragedy, I think.
Well,
This wasn't just a random group of passengers.
Right.
These people were connected by a shared passion, Yeah.
They had just experienced the highs of competition.
Exactly.
The camaraderie of the event.
Yeah.
And then suddenly this...
Yeah. It's heartbreaking.
It is.
And for the Skating Club of Boston, losing 6 members of their community...
Unthinkable.
It's devastating. So what do you think this means for a club like this?
Yeah.
One that's so steeped in history and tradition.
I think it's a profound loss,
Right.
And it goes beyond the individuals themselves.
Right.
Think about the ripple effect.
Absolutely.
The empty spaces in practice sessions.
Oh, yeah.
The missing voices of coaches. The young skaters who have lost mentors.
Yeah.
It's a void that will be felt so deeply within the club's culture and the training programs.
For sure. It makes you think about the human connections that are forged in a place like that.
Absolutely.
I read about Nancy Kerrigan.
Oh, wow.
The Olympic medalist and Skating Club of Boston alumna.
Right.
Who actually went to the rink in Norwood, Massachusetts.
Seeking solace after the crash.
It speaks to the need to seek comfort.
Yeah.
And just that shared grief in a familiar space, surrounded by people who understand, the unique dynamics of that world.
Of the figure skating world.
Yeah.
She actually said, I told them, I have to be around you guys.
Wow.
I needed the community, the support. It's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
And to be there for one another.
Right.
And there's something so powerful about someone like Kerrigan.
Yeah.
Who we usually see as, so composed and strong.
Right.
Showing such vulnerability.
I think it challenges the perception that athletes are invincible.
Yeah.
Reminding us that they experience the same range of emotions as anyone else.
Of course.
Especially when facing such profound loss.
Yeah.
And, her vulnerability might even help others in the community to process their own grief.
Right. And it's a reminder that asking for help and leaning on your community is a sign of strength, not weakness.
Absolutely.
Sadly, though, this isn't the first time the figure skating world has been shaken by a tragedy like this.
I was just thinking that.
Back in 1961, Sabina Flight 548 crashed, killing the entire U.S. figure skating team.
It's haunting, isn't it?
It is. The parallels are eerie.
Yeah, it speaks to a shared history of both triumph and tragedy within the specific community.
Absolutely.
And it forces us to consider the emotional toll these events take, not just in the immediate aftermath, but for years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And that crash in 1961 actually led U.S. figure skating to establish a memorial fund
That's wonderful.
And it's a reminder of the enduring legacy of those lost.
Right.
And how the sport continues to find ways to honor them and support future generations.
It also speaks to the resilience of the community, faced with unimaginable loss.
Yeah.
They chose to channel their grief into something positive.
Right.
Ensuring that the memory of those lost continues to inspire.
Absolutely. Speaking of those lost, I wanted to talk about Spencer Lane.
Yeah.
The 16-year-old skater.
So young.
His family statement mentioned his incredibly fast rise from, quote, basic learn-to-skate classes to U.S. figure skating's national development team.
Wow.
In just a few short years.
Amazing.
That's extraordinary for someone his age.
Yeah, his trajectory was truly remarkable.
It is.
To reach that level of national recognition in such a short time frame suggests exceptional talent and dedication, both from Spencer himself and those who supported him.
Right, and his family also expressed gratitude that his last week was full of joy at the championships.
That's nice.
There's something bittersweet about knowing he was doing what he loved right before the crash.
It adds a layer of complexity to the grieving process, I think.
Right.
While mourning his loss, they can also cherish the memory of his final days, filled with the passion and camaraderie of the sport.
Yeah, and the Skating Club of Boston's CEO, Doug Zegib, shared his devastation on social media.
Of course.
Saying they were, quote, devastated and completely at a loss for words.
It's understandable.
It is. It's a reminder that these are real people, real families at the heart of this tragedy.
It humanizes the institution, reminding us that it's not just a building or a name.
Right.
It's a collection of individuals, each with their own stories and contributions. And to lose so many at once is truly a blow to the soul of the club.
It is. And this is a club that's so deeply intertwined with figure skating history.
It really is.
You think about Dr. Tenley Albright.
Oh, wow.
The first American woman to win Olympic gold in figure skating.
Incredible.
And Dick Button, the two-time Olympic champion, who coincidentally died just a day after the crash.
Oh, wow. What a strange coincidence.
It is. It's an eerie coincidence.
Yeah, it adds another layer of grief and reflection,
It does.
The loss of Button so soon after the crash underscores the cyclical nature of life and loss.
Right.
Reminding us that even legends are not immune to time.
Yeah, and we can't forget Paul Wiley, the 1992 Olympic silver medalist.
Right.
Another skating club of Boston alumnus.
Yeah, this club has shaped the sport in profound ways.
It really has. The legacy of this institution is undeniable. It's a place where countless dreams have been nurtured, champions have been forged, and the sport itself has evolved.
Absolutely.
This loss is a stark reminder of how deeply intertwined the Skating Club of Boston is with the heart of American figure skating.
It is. It's at the heart of it.
Yeah. And, this tragedy goes beyond just figure skating.
It does.
The fact that a commercial airliner collided with a military helicopter.
Right.
It raises some serious questions about aviation safety.
Yeah, it really does,
Like, how could this happen?
Yeah, it makes you think, what are the protocols in place, the communication?
Right. Between civilian and military airspace.
Yeah, how can something like this be prevented?
Exactly.
It makes you realize that even with all the technology we have
Absolutely.
and the advancements, accidents can still happen.
Yeah.
And the consequences are devastating.
Yeah. And while those investigations are underway, I think it's crucial to remember that these incidents often reveal systemic issues that need addressing.
Yeah.
It's not about placing blame.
Right.
It's about learning and preventing.
Right. Preventing this from happening again.
Exactly.
So going back to Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah.
Her response to this tragedy has really resonated with a lot of people.
It has.
What struck you about her, her actions and her words?
Well, what I found so compelling is that Kerrigan, an Olympic figure who really embodies strength and grace, allowed herself to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
She didn't shy away from her grief.
Right. At all.
Yeah, it was powerful to see her kind of break down and express those emotions so openly.
And I think it makes her more relatable.
It does.
More human.
Yeah.
It reminds us that even public figures, those we put on a pedestal, they experience grief and loss.
Of course.
Just like everybody else, they're not immune to pain.
Yeah, and by being so open about it, she might be helping others.
I think so.
In that skating community, to process their own emotions as well.
Right, like giving them permission
Right.
To grieve openly, to seek that support.
It challenges this expectation that we should always be strong.
Yeah.
Stoic.
Yeah, exactly. It normalizes the expression of grief.
Right.
And encourages people to seek that comfort and support.
And the Skating Club of Boston seems to be providing that safe space.
It does.
For grieving and healing.
The club has become a sanctuary where members can come together, share their memories, offer support and find solace in their shared grief.
It really shows the power of community, doesn't it?
It does.
During times of crisis.
It does.
Sports, especially ones as demanding as figure skating, often create these very tight-knit groups.
They do, absolutely. They train together, compete together, celebrate those victories,
absolutely,
support each other through setbacks.
Yeah, it's a family.
It is like a chosen family, bound by this shared passion.
And when tragedy strikes, those bonds become even more crucial.
They do, yeah.
They offer a lifeline, a sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
When it's needed most.
It's that shared understanding.
Thinking about this tragedy and its impact on the skating world, what stands out to you as the most important takeaway?
For me, I think it's that reminder of our interconnectedness.
Right.
This event, seemingly isolated in the world of figure skating, has rippled outward, touching on aviation safety, the importance of community, and just the resilience of the human spirit.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder to really cherish the moments we have, nurture those relationships, and find meaning in the things we're passionate about.
And there's also this eerie coincidence surrounding this crash.
Oh, yeah.
That I can't get out of my head. Do you remember that photo?
I do.
Spencer Lane posted from inside the plane?
Yeah.
Before takeoff.
Before takeoff, the one that's become so poignant,
Yeah, it's haunting to see that that image of him.
Yeah.
Seemingly so full of life, unaware of what was about to happen.
It really highlights the fragility of life, I think.
Yeah.
How a moment of joy can be followed by such unimaginable sorrow.
It's cool.
Makes you think about how unpredictable life can be.
Yeah.
And how we never really know what the future holds.
We don't. And that photo has become a symbol of this tragedy.
It has.
A reminder of Spencer's life cut short.
Yeah.
But it's also sparked a lot of discussion online.
It has.
About ethics and sensitivity.
It's definitely raised complex questions about sharing such images.
Yeah, right.
In the digital age.
In the digital age, is it right? Is it wrong?
Exactly.
Right.
Some argue it humanizes the tragedy.
Right.
And makes it more relatable.
Right.
While others are concerned about,
exploiting the event.
Yeah, exploiting it and violating the privacy of the deceased.
Yeah. It's a tough issue. There's no easy answer.
It is. It is.
But it forces us to think about,
the impact.
The impact of our online actions.
Yeah.
Especially when we're dealing with sensitive topics like grief and loss.
And, we need to be more mindful.
Yeah.
And have those open discussions about, responsible social media use.
Responsible social media use.
Absolutely.
But, the U.S. figure skating community's response has been remarkable.
It has.
There's a real sense of unity and support
amidst
the grief and the shock.
From Olympic medalists to those young skaters, the entire community has come together to mourn those lost.
Yeah, and it's been heartwarming to see, the tributes, the condolences, the offers of support.
The outpouring from skaters worldwide.
Worldwide, exactly. It shows the strength of the bonds within this sport.
It does.
And how a shared passion can unite people.
Absolutely.
In times of adversity.
Yeah, like the establishment of those memorial funds.
Right.
In honor of the victims.
In honor of the victims.
Is a beautiful way.
It is.
To continue their legacy.
Right. And those funds will go to help support aspiring skaters.
Absolutely.
And ensure that the sport they loved
yeah.
continues to thrive.
And there have been countless tributes.
Yes.
Performances dedicated to those we've lost.
Yes. It's powerful, isn't it?
It is. It's a powerful way to remember the impact
yeah.
that they had on the sport.
Right.
And just to keep their memory alive.
Yeah.
The community is finding ways
right.
to collectively grieve and heal together through
right.
these acts of remembrance.
Looking ahead, this tragedy will undoubtedly have long-term implications.
I think so.
For figure skating.
Yeah.
It's a significant loss, not only of talented athletes,
yeah.
but also coaches and mentors.
Right.
Who are dedicated to the future of this sport.
Their absence will be felt for years to come.
Yeah.
But I think their legacy will inspire a renewed focus on safety.
Right.
And support within the sport.
Absolutely. You know, I imagine there will be
the reevaluation
of everything, right?
Yeah.
Safety protocols, travel arrangements.
Absolutely. Potentially even more mental health resources for athletes and coaches.
It's about learning from this tragedy.
It is.
Right? And making sure.
And creating that safer and more supportive environment.
For everybody involved in this sport.
For everyone, yeah.
Yeah, as we kind of wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
What is the one message you hope listeners take away from this conversation?
I think the most important takeaway is to acknowledge the profound impact of this tragedy.
Yeah.
Not just on the figure skating community,
right,
but on all of us who have been touched by these stories.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder of life's fragility.
Yeah.
The importance of connection and support.
Right.
And that enduring power of the human spirit.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. You know, it's fascinating how this tragedy connects to broader historical narratives.
It is.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, you know, as we've been discussing, the 1961 Sabina Flight 548 crash, which claimed the lives of the entire U.S. figure skating team.
Yeah.
It has those haunting parallels to this recent tragedy.
Right.
But what's really interesting is how that particular event had a significant impact on aviation history.
Oh, wow. I actually hadn't thought about that connection.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, the Sabina crash actually served as a catalyst for major changes in the aviation industry.
Okay.
You know, it prompted investigations that revealed critical vulnerabilities, leading to advancements in aircraft design, pilot training, and air traffic control procedures.
So even amidst such devastation, that tragedy ultimately led to some progress in aviation safety.
Exactly. It forced the industry to confront its shortcomings and implement changes that have undoubtedly saved countless lives in the years since.
Wow.
You know, it serves as a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, progress can emerge.
Right. Makes you wonder if this recent crash in Washington, D.C. will have a similar impact.
It's possible.
On aviation safety in the future. You know, what kind of changes might we see as a result of this?
Well, it's likely, I think, this tragedy will lead to a thorough review of existing protocols and safety measures. It wouldn't be surprising to see increased scrutiny of airspace management, especially in those areas where civilian and military flights intersect.
Right.
There might be advancements in collision avoidance technology or stricter regulations regarding pilot training and aircraft maintenance.
Yeah.
Only time will tell what specific changes emerge.
Right.
But I think it's safe to say that this event will leave a lasting impact on the aviation industry's approach to safety.
I think so, too. As we've been, you know, diving deep into these sources, what has resonated most with you?
Well, for me, what stands out is the theme of community. And its power, particularly in the face of immense grief. We've seen it in the outpouring of support from the figure skating world. Nancy Kerrigan's instinctive need to be with her community. And the way the Skating Club of Boston has become this sanctuary for its members. It really underscores the vital role that shared experiences and a sense of belonging play in helping people cope with loss. And find that strength in one another.
I completely agree. This tragedy has really reminded us about the importance of human connection.
It has.
Not just in times of sorrow. But, you know, as we navigate life's journey.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder to cherish our relationships, to offer support to those in need. And to build communities that provide that sense of belonging and strength.
Yes.
So, as we conclude this deep dive, is there a final thought you want to leave with our listener?
Well, I would encourage our listener to reflect on the interconnectedness of our lives.
Okay.
You know, how a single event can send these ripples far beyond its immediate sphere, impacting individuals, communities, and even entire industries. This tragedy within the figure skating world has prompted us to confront issues related to aviation safety,
of course,
grief, the power of community.
Absolutely.
Perhaps in recognizing this interconnectedness, we can find inspiration to act with compassion, build those stronger connections, and strive to make a positive impact on the world around us.
Beautiful. What a powerful message to end on. Thank you for guiding us through this exploration of this complex and heartbreaking event.
Of course, it was my pleasure.
And to our listener, we hope this deep dive has provided you with some insights, perspectives, and perhaps even a renewed appreciation for the strength and resilience of the human spirit.
Absolutely.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till